Good morning, good morning. Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, today is good old Wednesday. Trying to set up everything here. Today's Wednesday morning, October 6th, 2021. And as you see in my clock, is 6:13 a.m. in the morning. Yes, 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 I'm still in bed. I did get up early. I physically got out of bed to start my day around 4:30. I made my little brew, my tea. Yes, I drank most of it. Yes, here it goes here. Oh, you can't really see it. Yeah, I have like a third of a cup left. Yeah, I have to stay hydrated. I notice sometimes. Like late in the day, all of a sudden, my mouth gets extremely dry. It's like an excessive dryness. I don't know what it is, but either way, um, I need to stay hydrated. What did I? Yeah. So today's drink, I use my bilberry powder. Yeah, let me see. Bilberry powder, um, cloves, a little pinch of powdered ginger. What else? Yeah, that's what I could think. Oh, and cranberry juice powder. And I put in a jar, my mason jar, and I took boiling water and filled it halfway, let it steep, and then I strained it, and then I added the remainder of the water. So, so now I have a full um, quart of water. Oh, I did add a little bit of stevia in it, and and it tastes wonderful. It actually tastes good. Yeah. Yeah, I need to stay hydrated. I, when the weather starts to change here in New York City, um, your body can get a little confused, with the shifting of the temperature. I start to feel a little, I woke up with a headache yesterday in my temples. I don't know whether it's a tension headache or I'm getting the bug. I was concerned. And yes, so I had dosed up with my vitamin C. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Good morning. It's always nice to see people getting up with me this beautiful day. Yeah, dawn isn't even up yet. It's 6:16 a.m. in the morning in New York City. Excuse me. Yes, so you'll be watching the dawn of the day shortly. Yeah. I love dawn. I love to see the sunrise and the sunset, when it gets dark and when it starts to get light in yeah, it's very nice. It's a really nice part of the day. It really is. So yeah, I was just explaining the drink that I made, my morning tonic or brew with the bilberry, ginger, cranberry juice powder, cloves. Yeah, these are elements that are good for the GI tract and your immune system. Yes, I um, I don't want to get sick. I felt a little uncomfortable yesterday. I woke up with a headache in my temples. I had a headache before some month or so ago, and I did get tested, and it was negative. I got tested twice, and both were negative. Um, I just want to be careful, you know. Um, yeah, I was surprised. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Uh, the transmission went out for a moment there, but I got it back on. So I apologize for that. And I really didn't really say anything, and it's already interfering. So I better be quick. Yeah, so I don't know what it is, whether it's the bug or not. I don't want to take, oh, my soup. You hear the little alarm in the back? Yeah, I also got up this morning, not just to make my tonic for boosting immunity, but I made my soup. Yeah. I felt that I needed to, um, yeah, to make my soup. Yeah, I bought the ingredients a couple of days ago. I bought navy beans, um, escarole, I forget, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it looks like a lettuce. It's a bitter herb. And someone had told me before, hey, you can use the particular herb, when you make this soup. And so I decided, yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Yes, I invite you both to say hello in the chat room if you wish. Yes. So, yeah, so I made this soup using the navy beans, this thing that looks something like lettuce, but it's a bitter herb, and garlic, fresh onions, um, coriander, uh, crushed coriander seed, cilantro, fresh cilantro, no, dry cilantro, a little bit of salt, and turmeric. And yes, so I had the beans soaking overnight. And yeah, so I put in the pressure cooker. And usually, like those small, these navy beans are the small ones. They're whitish in color. And yeah, oh, I use a little bit of olive oil also. I think it's going to come out good. Oh, I didn't put, yeah, I put just a dab of black pepper in it. Hey, Sophia. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you like the little camping. My idea of camping. Yeah, because I live in a big city, right? But I think deep down, I'm a country person. You know, as I get older, I see the importance, and I stress. Sorry again. Sorry about that. See that it tried to disconnect again? Yeah. They don't want me to talk about maybe they sense what I'm going to talk about. But that's okay. They might learn something. They might learn something. Yes. Whatever what um, sustains you, get connected to it and respect it. Respect the land. Respect your food source. Respect it. So, yes, my concept of camping, I have an imagination. When I was a young girl, I mean, I lived in a house from the age of 4 and up. But we used to, yeah, in the basement. We had a basement, and I, I love imagination. Um, I had this imagine. We used to like play games as children, and one of my favorite games was Play House. And you know what? Only thing you need to play house was you had to crawl underneath something. Something had to be over your head, you know. Uh, so there was this. this storage thing, like a I don't know what you call it, but it had long enough legs, and it had storage on top. So I was small enough to crawl under the legs of it, the four legs. So you have something over your head, right? And then it was pressed against, pushed against the wall. So at least you have a wall, and it was, I think, on the corner or near the corner of the, yeah, yeah. It was against the wall. So you had something to your side. And then, yeah, there were things like on the head and foot area of it. Maybe had boxes or something. So you're closed in. And then you just get like a curtain or a towel or whatever. And you can cover the entryway. So now you have a house. And I remember just feeling, wow, I'm playing house. And I loved doing that. And you know what else? I think the idea of being on the ground, people, even today, when I sit on the ground or sit low to the ground, it has that same effect. And I think what it is getting connected to the earth, being low to the ground, getting connected. Yeah, it's fantastic. People these days, they give their children um, cell phones and things like that. They have no imagination. That thing captures their brain and the light. Yeah, because emits that blue light, which damages the eyes. But you can't say that. Let me tell you this. Like many of you know that I'm a veteran. And you know that in the VA, I get my eyes checked every year. And I said, are you able to, I want to get a prescription, something to block out the, blue blockers on it. And the guy says, and these are these young people, the interns. Oh, there's no evidence that blue light damages the eye. Could you believe that? Could you believe that, people? Man, I don't know what, the people that they get to work at these government institutions. They must have eaten a stupid pill, because the things that they say things like, um, it's like a recording. Like soon you say, oh, the blue light. If it's possible that I can get a prescription to block out, because I'm on the computer all day, something to protect my eyes from the blue light. Well, there's no evidence. Sure, there is. And you know what else they also say? Um, when I went to the dentist at the VA hospital, they'll say, "Oh, that's a myth that fluoride is bad for you." Where did it get these people from? Where? That's what the people in the Third Reich, what they used to use for their prisoners. It makes you stupid. It dumbifies your brain. It's to keep you docile and other things. Yeah. Yeah, with these institutions, I feel like they want to um, decide for you about your health care. Hello? Hello out there. Who are they to tell you about your health? And you notice each time about when the institutions want to address your health, how come you get sicker and sicker when they attempt to help you and you didn't ask for their help? Oh, just get this shot because it's a such and such season and we care about your health. Well, if you cared about my health, you would have something to, like, when you first get symptoms, to give you something to knock it out. Did you, I told you guys earlier that they don't have um, any medicine to take if you just start to get symptoms of that thing that everybody's been getting for the past year and a half or so. Absolutely nothing they give you. Because I called and I think I shared you this information. Yeah, because I live in New York City and I was concerned that if I get sick, because see, I'm not God, and anything could happen to me. I don't live in a bubble, and I'm aware that hey, the weather is shifting. It's getting cold now, and the shift in the season, your body has to shift too. And when the shift in your body is too extreme for it, it will produce a stress on your body, and you can get symptoms. Okay, I go out. I want to go out, get air. So I said, I sense that things are going to be doing something in New York. Yes, things are happening now in New York. Um, you're having um, more people speaking out as it pertains to that health concern. I have to be very careful what I say because they are censoring me. Yes, you have people rioting now, or what you call protest. Same type of people, losers. I call them losers. I know this sounds very negative, but it's just what I see what's going on. The same type of people that protested last year for certain rights that they claim some of us don't have, and they were vandalizing, setting fires, all that stuff, right? Because certain people's lives are important, but their actions show that life doesn't matter to them. But anyway, so now that they get this particular person in office, and that they're getting hurt by the current administration's particular stance on certain things now. See, now the news is getting tighter and tighter. See, the evil people and evil systems get worse. They may pretend to befriend you. They pretend to befriend you. They find out what you don't like. They find out who your enemy is, and then they play up on it. They say, oh, yeah, that person is this and that. And that's what they did in 2020. So now they get in office, and now they're there to destroy all of us by their things that they initiate. Okay. What are they initiating? For one thing, I do watch alternative news. Yes, I like watching this alternative news that I told you guys about. I just give the initials of the person. A is in Apple, J is in Jack. Okay? And he has a website. And the initials of that is I as in ice cream, W as in water.com. And so some of you who know me and know what I watch, you'll know. Yeah, I have to be careful. I can't say certain words because they'll um, lock me out. And I've been watching a lot of stuff on his website. And they share on his channel, his website, they share videos of people who, they see something, they have their camera, their recorder, and they film events. And then they share it on social media. They share about doctors and nurses who are behind the scene, who see what's going on. They're like whistleblowers. They serve as whistleblowers, and they're sharing this information. You have reports. What do you call it? People. They're journals, science journals, and you have some people who were researching about these journals. Maybe they um, might have remembered certain years back that somebody might have spoken on a particular uh, event. There's footage of the current scientists that are uh, speaking on our so-called people's behalf. Uh, Things that happen in the chinois. Those of you know what a chinois is. That they were events taking place, and a collaboration, I should say. There is a collaboration between different countries, our country and other countries. And they've been out there, they have documentation and videos that they shared on on this social media thing that I've been watching, alternative news. And it's out there. It's out there that there's a collaboration, a planning of events, and now the implementation of eh, um, those plans. And that's what is attributing a lot of this melee. Yeah, people, they're relying on your fears. They're relying on your fears. And yes, sorry about that. See what happened? See, it went out again. I hope the audio is good. Let me, please press like a 1 for yes that you can hear the audio. That is okay. I do have my mic on. Just want to make sure everything's going on, make sure that they're not messing with the audio at least. Yeah, so again, see that they don't want you to get information. So you notice that when the thing freezes, things like that, what I'm talking about. They don't even want me to talk about what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to be as cryptic as possible. So, okay, great. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you so much. Yes, so what's happening now? Yes, so I get back early from my walk. So I miss out a lot of things that happen during the afternoon and evening. Yeah, I stay indoors when it's dark outside. I avoid it. Yeah, I've basically always been like this. I mean, yeah, since I've moved to the city, um, I don't go out at nighttime. I mean, if let's say I'm on my way back home and it starts to get dark, okay. But to hang out, no, I do not do that. So that's when these protests seem to happen around dusk when it starts to get dark. No way will I go be out there. Yes, I like to do things in the daytime because I want to see what's going on. You want people, you want to see what's going on. You don't want to do things at night, especially if you're with a whole bunch of people, like a protest. You don't want to be out there at nighttime because you could really be getting set up. You want to see what's going on around you, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Um, but yeah, so what I saw on the thumbnail, yeah, in New York City, and even on my block, they have these tents. It looks like a little, like a, for the sun, so the sun doesn't hit you, and there are tables and chairs underneath. They have these testing sites all over the city, testing sites for that pathogen. So they do the nasal thing, Oh, they do have the spit test. I remember I shared with you that I had the spit test done. And they have the finger prick thing to see if you have those antibodies or something like that. Yeah. So I did the spit test and the finger prick. And they're all over. Yeah. Avoid as much as possible. Don't have them put anything up your nose. Because some of them are putting the thing up your nose so much that it causes bruises. Like you'll look like you got it punched in your eye. You get a black eye because they shove that thing so far up and cause damage. And it's a thin membrane up there in your nasal cavity, and they have these swabs. Remember a couple of months ago, I shared this video that someone shared on social media. The thing that they used to put up your nose, it had these metal, and it was moving. Yes, and they believe that it's some type of nano particles, um, and that they could move in your body, and they reassemble. Like they could come. It is believed, I should say, it is believed that these metals that you see moving could combine and build themselves inside your body, because it's some type of AI, and they put this next to your brain. They're really stressing for us to do those nasal ones. They say, oh, it's more accurate. Well, if it's so, why don't they just do your mouth, right? Why? Because didn't they say like when you talk and your spittle might hit someone in the face or eye, right? Because it's so contagious, right? So if it's so contagious, why can't you just do a spit test? But see, they want to be invasive, and they want it to invade your body. Your body is your domain. Always remember that. Your body and your health is your domain. Oh, I see the dawn is about approaching. It's 6:41 a.m. And you see that the sky is brightening up. I love this time of day. Yes. So yeah, these testing tents are all over now. They're really, really picking up momentum in New York City to be tested. You notice the more people get tested, the more sick people get. That should be a clue, people. Remember, like they say, the war on drugs, the war on whatever, right? Anytime you hear that expression, the war of whatever, that means that's what they want to promote. That means that's what they want to promote. That it's not a war against it. They want to facilitate that. So they're talking in reverse. And that seems very occulted, right? They talk in reverse, meaning they'll say one thing, but it means the opposite. They say one thing, but it means the opposite. So they, so now you have more people who are becoming infectious. How could it be if more people get in the jibber jabber jab, why are there more infections? Why? You have to ask yourself these questions, people. What makes people get sick? Or maybe it's what's putting in your body, people. They want to infect your temple. Your body is your temple, and they want to violate it and do intimidation for you to succumb. Do not consent. It is essential, people. It is very, very essential that you verbalize in some way, verbalize and say, I do not consent. You do not consent to this testing. You do not consent of being forced to take whatever. You have to say it to people when they want to come to you. You have to verbalize it and say, I do not consent to this medical treatment or procedure, and that you have your own choice of medical care. In fact, your constitutional rights are inalienable by God. Okay, you have it because, again, we live under a constitutional republic. We do not live in a democracy. We live under a constitutional republic, which is better because there's set regulations that is to protect you, regardless of your race, religion, or whatever. It is designed to protect you. And they want you to forget that we live in a constitutional republic. They want us to live under a communistic system of control. The people that they have in office are communists or socialists in nature, and they believe in government control over the population, but they're pretending to be your friend and liberals. And they'll always talk about your rights, racism, and this and that. This is just a ploy. And you notice also the type of people that they get in office. You see what I think she's the mayor of DC. No, Chicago. Yeah, I think she's Chicago. Some of these, where did they get these creatures from? Where did they get these people? Yeah, they're getting a lot. Notice this. They're getting a lot of black people. And yeah, I'm a black person. And no, I'm not an Uncle Jane. I love my race, but I love other people too. It's okay to love yourself and love others. See, if you really love yourself, that's how come you're able to love other people and share information. See, why I'm sharing it like this is because, they're trying to promote an agenda. They're making you think that you're a victim. And if you're a member of the black race in America or Hispanic, that you're a victim, but especially if you're a black non-Hispanic in these large cities. They target you because they know that you're very emotional. See, they want you bombarded with thoughts about slavery, that you're a slave, and all this and that. This is not chattel slavery. And just look at those people, those socialist communists. Yes, they do prey amongst the black community, the poor black communities in these large urban centers. They always come in, and somehow they always seem to present the anger, all the rich people, the bougies, right? But they never give you tools of, yeah, if these communists love you so much, black people, how come they're not buying you your 40 acres and mule? I'll repeat that. If these so-called communist liberals love you so much, how come they aren't giving you land so that you could be your own people and live in your community? because they don't want you to live on your own land. They want you to live in those large urban areas because they're going to use you to destroy your city. I'll repeat. The reason why they set you up to live in these large cities, like the one I'm living in, because they're going to use you to destroy where you live. So they're going to maybe instigate fights. They'll instigate and promote things on television to make certain people um, resent. Yeah, because television is a program. Television is a program. Television that you watch is a programming of your mind. So they show blacks and other so-called social undesirables, like your victim, you're a drug addict, you don't know how to read, you're impulsive. Just watch it. Watch these. I mean, if you watch these things, notice. And so this programs white people also to think, okay, these are how these people. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Sophia, for the message. Thank you. I got your message. Yes. So they want you to, yeah, so they want you to watch the program. That was so nice of Sophia. See, well, I have some really, really nice people who are, I don't have a big channel, but see, I have, it's like a diamond. You guys are like diamonds. Yes, you come on and you respectfully say, I have to go now, I have to go to appointment. You come on and say, hello, Journey. That's really sweet. That is really thoughtful. See, that's a beautiful etiquette. And I have very nice viewers. Yeah, I receive some nice, interesting emails. People share me their content. And I see, that you guys are really highly intelligent people. Yes, you guys are highly intelligent, and some of you have a good sense of humor also. And you share me things that are amusing, things to um, shows you that you have a great insight, that you want to learn, that you're interested in your brain function and all that. That's really nice. Thank you for thinking of me to share that information. I just wanted to get that out. So again, back with the programming. Yeah, television, radio, um, the internet, these are all tools of their programming. And these socialists slash communists want to overthrow. They want to overthrow your constitutional republic. Your constitutional republic is designed to protect you, but they want to turn it over. So they show these things that excite people, get them edgy, and make them think like an oppressed person. They never teach you, hey, you know what you should learn. Yeah, this is also what I talk about. Yeah, they want you dependent on the system. They want you dependent on the system. They want you to just be on public assistance. They don't want you to feel like, hey, maybe I should leave the city. And, hey, uh, wouldn't it be nice to get your own property, your own house? They don't want you to leave. They want you to stay right here. I mean, nothing wrong with living in a city if that's your choice. But I see how it was socially engineered for us to live here in the city. They're making it very difficult for you to get a mortgage loan. But somehow all these other people are somehow able to get it. But even owning a house is an illusion. Yeah, you save all this money to get it down to be able to put down a down deposit for a house. Did you know you could live in an urban, in a suburban ghetto? What makes a place a ghetto is not if it's a big city, but it could be rural. It's about oppression. A ghetto is about oppression. It's not about how many people live in there, but the concept of a ghetto is to cram in the social undesirables, to keep them there. But you notice it allows for those people outside of the ghetto to live in very large properties and homes. Yeah, we're not meant to live close like this, not on top of each other. I mean, we're literally living on top of each other. And that includes me. I live in an apartment building. And so there are people living above me and people living below me. And I think energetically, this could cause stress on people. Yeah, we're all on top of each other. And they want to keep it that way so it's easier to monitor you. They want to monitor you. So, anyway, the illusion of owning a home. So, you get money and then you're lucky enough to get a mortgage. Well, there's a lot of responsibilities on owning your own property. Taxes, taxes, taxes. And then you can get neighbors who say, oh, my home is at my church. And they get a whole bunch of people that think like them. Maybe they belong to the same religion or whatever spiritual system they belong to. But they live amongst people who will be required to pay the land taxes, I mean, property taxes. And so they actually leech off for you. I've met people, I met two people that shared that information with me, and they're angry, and rightly so. So you get stuck with the bill. You have to also pay school taxes. So these religions and stuff, you have to pay for their religion because their church is a school. I mean, their home is a school also, their home school. And because the system says, well, everyone's entitled to an education, you still have to pay taxes and pay those people's taxes. Hello. So the people who are in the school system, the public school system, their money, the money to send to the public schools are being taken by those who belong to these elaborate religions that they have supposedly practiced in their home. So they avoid property taxes and they get uh, funding because it's a school of some sort, of some sort. They, they get support. Now you have your right for homeschooling, and I don't have children. I never had children, but if I had children, that is the route I would do. Homeschool. No way would I want a loved one to go to these public schools. Um, I saw a video of it. It was like kindergarten or nursery school, and all those little kids had the diaper on their face, as I call it, if you know what I mean. And you had the teacher or facilitator in that classroom singing a song to them that the diaper that's on their face is good for them. And all those children look so sad. Having that type of what I call a diaper on their face, um, their, their ability to learn how to speak is going to be hampered because part of learning how to talk is, you see the person's mouth and how they form their words and everything, you know? So it's going to hamper, plus the oxygen. They're getting low oxygen, so it's going to dumbify them. And I believe this is all by design. All by design. Yeah, they I mean, it's just by what you see, and you see what the possible consequences of those actions. It has to be by design. Yeah, so we're going to have a a generation of people who have a compromised mental ability. Okay, sorry, that's my little dog. He was coughing. Yeah, yeah, you have to see. You have to start noticing. Oh, I almost forgot what I was going to talk about. Yeah, boy, I'm just talking about so many things. Getting a house. Oh, yeah, well, the house situation. Um, so you have property, but they could change the laws and the requirements of the property you buy, and you never know who your neighbors would be, and they can suck your resources. And they don't really want you to have your own property now. Guess who's buying off all the land? Gates, the founder of Microsoft. He's purchasing a lot of land. What's he going to do with that land? Maybe hoard it, or maybe he could even start planting GMOs, genetically modified stuff, and contaminate other people's farmland, those organic farmers, and could contaminate their crop. Do you think maybe that's a possibility with why um, Gates is purchasing all this farmland? Shouldn't he just retire? But no, he's a social engineer. He's a social engineer, and so they don't want you to know how to, you know, plant foods. Yeah, I realize the importance of learning about planting. Yeah, this is also what I want to talk about. Everything is connected to everything else here. Um, Land. Yes, I see that they want to control what you eat. You notice now a lot of places, a lot of the food is genetically modified. Some of these foods might have those nanos in it and hijack your body. I know it sounds crazy, but see, that's why I think, when they put the chemtrails, they're spraying the skies with those planes. You can see them. And you see the particles coming down upon you. What's in those chemtrails? Could it be modified in your body? Could it be getting those nanoparticles and you inhale it? Could it be germ warfare? Could it be contaminating your crop? They don't want you to know how to farm. They force a lot of us, a lot of black folk, to push them out of the rural areas and force them to move into large cities like where I live. Most people in the past all lived, grew their own food. We knew how to plant. We knew the land. We did all the work throughout all of the Americas. We did all the farming. We produced food. But that skill has been lost in most of us. We rely on others to produce our food. We need to produce our own food. Don't you see that? He's buying off all the land gates. What's he going to do to that land, the soil? People live in urban areas like where I do. I'm really starting to think, what am I going to do? When your food source gets cut, it's going to be like another Katrina. Remember Hurricane Katrina and Louisiana? What happened in New Orleans? I think it was 2005 or 2006. Yeah, please, those of you who knows what year that happened, it was either 2005, 2006. Hurricane Katrina hit, and there was a warning. A major newspaper warned. They said, "Hey, the levees are not equipped, and if you have a category 4 or higher, it's going to wipe out the levees and flood the city." Did they do anything after the article was published? No. And then a category 4, I think 4 or higher, did hit, and it wiped out the whole town. There was a lot of deaths and a lot of people displaced. See, we don't really see, they don't really tell you the aftermath, what happens after. They don't really show the cleanup or anything like that. Where did the people move to? Well, I met one of them. Yeah, it was right after Trayvon Martin. Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, I went to this protest in 2012. I think it was 2012 or even 2014. And an individual there, said that he was from Louisiana and he was forced to leave, and he couldn't go back to New Orleans. He couldn't get a place. A lot of things happen and are designed to happen the way it does because they're socially engineering. They want people to be displaced. What's a great way to remove a city? Let's have a flood. Don't you notice now in New York City it's a lot of flooding? It never rained like this before. You think maybe it's weather modification, that they're adjusting the weather to cause flooding, to cause physical damage, to upset a community of people, to relocate people. The people in New Orleans were forced out. And if you don't have the money and the resources to go back, many people were sent to different states to live in. And the guy I met, he wound up in New York. He couldn't afford to go back. See, it's the things that they don't show you what's happening around your country. What happens after a natural disaster like a Hurricane Katrina, or any other floods? They never show you. And I think a lot of these things they want to happen so that they can initiate the next stage in their social engineering. And one thing is to just disrupt large cities, especially large cities where Black Americans live. That is what seems to be happening. But yet these same liberals want you to think and be focused on race. Race doesn't put food on your table. Knowing how to garden, knowing how to make your own medicine. That's what our focus should be on, not about what sneakers we get or the latest video. They're keeping you dumbed down, people. They want to dumb you down. They want videos. And who is the primary teacher in the home? The woman. The woman is the primary educator of the home. She's the one that teaches the kids. She teaches the kids how to tie their shoes, how to dress, how to wash. Well, you get a dumb woman who's just fixated on videos and how to put on your eyelashes and how to get people to look at certain body parts of yours. You're not about surviving. And being a tramp does not put food on the table long term. It's not a long-term um, skill. And yes, people get very bored quickly, you know, and you may think you know how to capture that particular guy, where there's a whole lot of other females who are younger. It's always someone younger and prettier than you. So, with that knowledge, you better learn some real skills for your protection. You need to start educating your child. You need to think more community. See, these vixens, as they call it, just look at the TV shows that they have with black people on it. They're like watchdogs. But you notice they never watchdog over their children or their community. Is to protect their oppressor. And it shows a lack of love for humanity. They think sex is power. It's not power. And especially if you get AIDS, hello? AIDS is still out there. Yeah. AIDS is still out there and infecting people. And AIDS affects the black community more than whites. It is socially engineered. I mean, it's a bioweapon. HIV is a bioweapon that was designed. I think well, the first initial people who got it were people of the I call the alphabet soup people. The men who are part of that alphabet soup. And then it spread in our community. And I shared this before, and I was a science major. I majored in nutrition, my master's in nutrition that I graduated from. And we had people from the Department of Health come by to teach about HIV. Because, see, as nutritionists, um, I do not have, I do not have my license in nutrition. So I want to put that out there. I did graduate from the program, but I do not have my license in it. But I do have my degree, my master's in nutrition from a university here in New York City. But either way, uh, we had these visitors from the Department of Health to teach about how HIV affects the body and that HIV discriminates between blacks and whites. You have someone of the alphabet soup community who's white versus black. And it takes more exposure to infect a white person of the alphabet soup than a black person. This because of the certain proteins of a body. We have different types of protein. I mean, yes, we're genetically we're very similar, but they target a specific protein patterns of our system. And so we're more prone to the disease. And it's a disease that was created to destroy certain types of people. So even look at this current um, pandemic. Who is it? They said, who is it really exposing? I mean, who is it really infecting? The very weak, and they said people of color, but I do not know definitively about the people of color as it's expressed. That I don't know, but we do know that yet last year, who was dying from it were the elderly, people with comortalities, many health conditions like a bad heart, diabetes, etc. So it's all to ruffle our feathers. It's to disrupt the um, the social system. So yes, so they want to affect your food source. They have forced us to live in large cities, so you lose all your skills. You lose all of it, you know. But we have to learn somehow. Yeah, I did some sprouting. I said I could at least do that. I I live in an apartment. I don't have land, but you know, I said I really, you know, because I feel like I really want to be real with myself. I do live in a big city, and I'm not a farmer, but I see with what's happening in today's system that they want you to be dependent on the system for everything, even our food. So I said, well, you know, I could at least do bean sprouts, do sprouting to get some of my food outside of, uh, you know, to acquire for myself, not always to be dependent, you know, on others for my food source. But I see what's happening. They want to really cripple uh, this country. Yeah, it's going to be everyone. It's not about race anymore. It's not. See, that's the whole thing. They want you to think it's all about race. No, they'll get anybody. The system hates everybody. They want to control you, and they want to do uh, social cleansing of people. Remember in Georgia, they have that monument, and it said that they want to remove, they want only, I think they said 500 million globally. That means it needs to kill about over 6 billion people. That's what the Bears and Boys, 6 billion people wants to um, destroy. And it's using this pandemic as a means of doing this global social cleansing, population cleansing. And then they want to attach your food. They want to destroy your food source. Awful. Oh, what I almost forgot. I was saying about that, those tents that they had to do the testing in New York City. Well, they're getting upset now. Interesting that they're getting upset. See, we have a lot of, you know, this is a, New York City is a big, big city, has a um, several million, what's about 9 or 12 million people? I forget. Those of you who know, please share that information. But it's a lot of people that live in New York City. And this is a Democratic state. You know, the Democratic Party dominates New York City. It's highly corrupt system, very corrupt. And the people, the system that's in control is pushing us to wear these masks. Oh, I call them diapers, and it's to affect you. Now, if this thing is airborne, what about your eyes? And why, as I said in the beginning of this live stream, why is it that the more we get tested and the more that we get the jibba jabba job, why is there more sickness? This should be a big question for you. Maybe it's something in the jibba jab, and that's what it is. And it's spreading. When they get the jibba jab, they can infect 6 other people, I heard. Oh, so now, see, they got the person that they want in an office. Now, see, they're poo-pooing. See, they got you. Be careful what you wish for, people. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. What did New York City ask for? They asked for that clown in office, to be in office. Okay? So they got him in. And now that administration is now destroying the livelihood of people in this country, including New Yorkers. And you have the school system here, the the Board of Education um, is under I think one of the largest and one of the most powerful unions in the country. The Board of Ed have a strong union, and they're protesting now because they're not given an option about the jibber jab. They're saying it is a requirement. So it's not just having the diaper on the face. They now want you have it's man. I can't use that word. They want to force you to wear to have the jibber jab. See, now they're going too far. They're going too far. So they got you focused on racism, right? It's not about racism. It's about you have people who live in high places and they do not like humanity. This is a war on the planet. It's not about race like black against white. But see, they know, well, the system is a dichotomy. And they're playing on that nature against you, dichotomies. So last year, they used a dichotomy between black and white to divide people and then get someone who doesn't love humanity in office and then promote all these testings, invasive testing. If someone wants to have that thing on their face or to uh, have the jibber jab, that should be their choice. But now they're encroaching on you socially. They say, oh, we're going to exclude you. They know a lot of New Yorkers love to feel included. And these social events, they have these concerts. Why are they doing the concerts now? I don't know. But these little concerts that's going to be for this week out in Central Park. And you have to have a special passport to go into these public events. Hello? Why should I? Why? If it's an outdoor event, why say you can't be a part of the function? Shouldn't they accommodate us? Because doesn't the law says that, let's say you have a health issue and you can't have that diaper on your face. They are required by law to accommodate you and not discriminate. The Constitution of this beautiful republic, they are required to accommodate people with disabilities. That's a law about people with disabilities, that you have to accommodate them because you cannot segregate or discriminate against the handicapped, people with health disabilities. You have to have some means of accommodation, just like some stores now, they have those ramps because you have people with mobile disability. They're not able to walk, so they need a wheelchair, and your establishment better be set up for wheelchair accessible. So it's the same law that applies. So if you have people who have, uh, let's say, religious exemptions, or they have health conditions, you have to have accommodations for those people who will not get the jibber jab and have an area for them to be able to participate. Hello, people. So New Yorkers don't like to feel excluded. And the school teachers, which is under a powerful union, don't want people to tell them that they have to have the jibber jab. Yeah, there are a lot of people of color who work in the health field in New York City. A lot of us. And people are sharing their stories. And so they know what's going on. And so they're afraid to take it. And it was that last week was the official start that if you don't have the jibber jab, that they're going to fire you. And they even threatened the new governor, that witch. Now, nothing wrong with someone who is an actual practitioner of the arts. I'm talking about someone who is evil in heart. Maybe I should use a new word. I shouldn't say they act like a witch. Someone is a practitioner of the arts. I'm talking about people who go out their way to harm people who haven't harmed them. So the current female governor threatened to hire people from other countries to occupy those seats of people. See, you notice how it does that? When I start to say certain things that are really, really true. Sorry about that, people. You see, when I start to talk about certain topics, it does that. It freezes. That means I'm saying the truth. Sorry. Yeah, so they, yeah. Because you're a ghost, huh? Good for you. Yeah, so they're doing these things to to mess with you. And yes, we got a new governor, and yeah, I believe that this is also part of the social engineering. Yeah, we had a governor, and everybody worshipped him last year. See that? See, when they're done with you, then they get rid of you. So last year they had Governor Cuomo, and he had gotten an Emmy Award, and he had published a book, and he was the hero. And then they dig up a sex, what do you call it, a sex, sexual allegations against him. And then they pulled him down. See that? So the system will borrow you. And he was really promoted last year. And then this year, for whatever reason, they dug up that information to remove him from government, sexual allegations against him. And then they put in a woman, probably because this woman is to handle, I guess people have different specialties, and they use specific people to handle the next phase of destruction. Yes, this is the new phase of this tearing down the city. They're not people who love the city. You notice what else in New York City? Now, this is supposed to be a pandemic, but yet they don't clean the streets. There's tons of garbage all over the place. And rats like you wouldn't believe. Dead ones and those that are alive running around. They're out in public and in the park. I go to the Central Park. They're all over Central Park. And now they're not able to use they don't want to use the bait anymore to kill the rats, because you have the red hawks that's been eating the rats, and the red hawks are dying because the rats have poison in their system. So now there's an increase in these rats, and they're having these people throw food on the ground, food all over the place. It's never been like this before, the amount of dirt and food just thrown on the ground, garbage really high. So this is part of this social destruction that they're trying to implement. Did you know that? Yeah, I mentioned this before. They let loose 4,000 homeless people in New York City. Where do you think they go? Why would you do something stupid like that? But they did. 4,000 people. Then they said, "Oh well, we're going to put them back in the main homeless shelters." Well, I evidently they still haven't done it because they're all over, and new people now are coming to New York City from out of state. Yeah, and they're real crazy. A lot of them do drugs. It's not a problem of homelessness. It's a problem of drug addiction. Drug addiction. I saw a couple of weeks ago someone shooting up drugs. I've never seen that with my natural eyes. He was in this cubicle type of thing, and right off the street, and I saw it. What he was doing, he had the needle, and he was poking himself, and you saw blood running down his, trickling down his arm. I'm sorry to be graphic. It's awful. And little children could walk right by and see it and get traumatized. These people in the governors and mayors of New York City, they don't care. They're letting it go down. They're not helping anybody. They're not. This is a takeover. And winter is coming now. It's fall weather. And winter will be here very shortly. Yeah, now it's getting colder and colder in New York City. And you're going to have more and more sick people in New York City. It's cramped, it's really cramped. So the chances of spreading the pandemic has increased. And so, yes, what I was saying about the Board of Ed, there's a real strong union with the Board of Education here. Well, they're rioting, or excuse me, protesting. So these same type of people that rioted last year to try to get this current administration in, now it's like they're crying wolf, and now they're oh women they don't want to be forced to get the jibber jab to keep a job, and they threaten to hire foreigners from the Philippines. At least it was mentioned about the Philippines to get them. Yeah, see how awful that is? Yeah, and so they're going to pit you against each other. Whoever who they get to do those jobs. And then again, some of us would be so desperate for work. Yes, I don't blame. I understand. What are you going to do if this is all you know how to do? And then you can't teach, or you can't. Let's say you work for the transit. I think it's the same thing with transit. A lot of blacks work in transit. And if these people are forced to take the jibber jabber jab, and many of them will take it, and it could infect their children, their parents, their grandparents, their household. That's what they're relying on. They're trying to put fear in us. They are trying to scare us and force us by coercion, which is against the Nuremberg laws. It's against the Nuremberg laws, coercion, to force people to participate in a scientific experiment. They are experimenting on your body. And so, what did these people do that were protesting the other day? They were turning over the tents of those testing sites that all of a sudden, it's like all over. The testing sites now are all over New York City, all over where I live. And it's so called free to get tested. or if you have insurance, they bill you insurance, but it's all out of pocket expense, out of pocket. So anyone could go and get tested. And so they turned it over. There's a thumbnail of them turning over the tents. Yeah, I gotta see that. Yeah, they're angry. See, now it's really scaring them. Because, see, the word is getting out what these inoculations are doing to them. These inoculations are causing havoc to the body. It's causing even the young, what do you call it, their heart. It's inflaming their heart muscle so they can get heart attack, blood clots, all these symptoms. Why? What's wrong with chicken soup? What did we do in the past? You get a little sniffles, a little congestion. You get your humidifier. You put um, your essential oils in it. You get chicken soup, and you sweat it out. Drink plenty of fluids. Get a lot of rest. But they want you to be an artificial person. Artificial. When you take that jibber jabber jab, they want to create an artificial person. They want your body to be able to run an artificial program of control. I say it again. These jibber jibber jabs have in it something that will control your body, could kill your body, and it's to control. It's not about wellness at all. It's not about wellness. They're not making anybody well. And so, also, what I mentioned in the beginning of this live stream, my concern, because the weather's changing, and I had a slight headache yesterday. It could be a tension headache. I did get tested twice. I used the spit test and the finger prick testing. No weight, any probe, because I was concerned. So it's just the stress that's happening to me. Well, but the head was starting to hurt. My temples started to hurt yesterday. So again, I don't know whether the temperature's changing, and I did explain earlier that I wore a jacket and a poncho, but I felt like the cold was going in my body. I said, "Wow!" So I had to put on my thermal, that mallard, I think it's called. It looks like aluminum foil. It's what those marathon runners use when they finish a race. They throw that thing around their bodies to hold in the body heat. Well, I bought some. Yeah. Start buying supplies. Uh, those of you who know the name that I'm trying to remember, something about Maillard or something. You guys know. You could write it in the comment section. You know what the proper name is. I forget the name, but yes, I believe it is going to be a colder winter. And what else could they do to maybe force people to stay at home or to get the shot? Turn off your heat. Hello, they can turn off your heat. So I don't want to get cold. I don't like the cold. I mean, I don't like extreme weather. So I did get some, so the blanket and the poncho like that. But yesterday I ordered, they have a sleeping bag made of that material. Yes. So if I do continue to go outside in the great outdoors, um, I don't like getting cold. So I ordered some yesterday. Yeah, yeah. So I'll have my legs in there in that sleeping bag. Yep. get that. What else? Yeah, yeah. So I'm getting that. Yeah. So you need to get things to keep yourself warm. You want to stay, warm. You got little ones. You got little animals. You know, um, don't rely on them for having that heat. See, if everybody's sick, and see a lot of blacks and uh, other people, Hispanics, work in these jobs like the apartment buildings. Who are the supers and the doormen? Okay. Now, if they belong if their occupation is such that they are forced to get the jibber jab, and they're married or living with people who, it's going to affect their work. This is very important. You know what I'm getting at? So they will be living with people who are in these fields, and they can get sick. So who's going to take care of your building? Hello. So if they cannot supply the heat, because also, you know what else? Virtually all the wash machines are broken. You didn't hear me. The mass majority of all the washer and dryers are broken. How did that happen? I walked in there last week to do laundry, and about 75% of the 75 or more of the dryers were broken, and maybe half of the wash machines were broken. How did this happen? Well, did you know that a lot of the appliances? Okay, let me get my little doggy. You want to come up? Come. Okay, here's my little boy. Is he cute? Hi, baby boy. I love you. I love you. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. Did you know that a lot of the equipment that's being made now by these large corporations, they have a lifespan, and they program those electronics. Some of these electronics are programmed to self-destruct. That's the only way how this could have happened. All of them break at the same time. They have built in how long it's to function, and then you're forced to get another machine. That is what they're doing. These parasites are doing things to force you into a new slavery. Well, yeah. So yeah, that this is also what I wanted to talk about. This is also very, very important. See how everything is tied in? It's not just one person. It's a whole network of people who are affecting your livelihood. Even the people who make the washers and dryers in these apartment complexes. It's to make you uncomfortable. It's to harass you because you're not complying. You're not being the slave. I don't want to play the part of a slave, excuse me. So, yeah, so that just happened recently with the laundry room in my building. But a lot of these people that work in these these high-rise apartment buildings are members of the Hispanic community. And many of these people um, may be married or living with people who work in other industries where it's required that you get the jibber jabber jab. So it could shut down the whole city. That's what I'm getting at. I suspect that there's going to be major shutdowns because everybody's going to be homesick. Because they want everybody to get the jibber jabber jab. Everybody. Oh, you know what else I saw what's being done? It was 2 days ago. I was walking home and I saw a notice that they're going to be fumigating the city. I've never seen that in my life. They're going to fumigate the city, parts of the city, because of mosquitoes. You heard me right. They're going to take, um, I was meaning to take a video of it yesterday when I was coming home, but I didn't notice it and I did forget. I brought my camera with me to take a video of it, but I was so exhausted yesterday and I did forget. But yeah, if I see it again, I want to take a picture and post it. Yeah. So notice that if that's happening in your city, is your city fumigating for mosquitoes? Yeah, last week I got bit in bed. It was late at night, and when I woke up in the morning, I had mosquito bites in areas I don't know how it got to. My stomach and my hip. So I guess the covers fell off of me or something, and it got me. How did that happen? And why are they out now? Well, again, we did have a major flooding. Yeah, it looks like it's going to rain today. See those sky? Yeah, it's very, very overcast. And it was like this yesterday. Yeah, it drizzled on me. Some sun poked out a little bit. Yeah, yesterday I went home earlier. I was going to spend 3 more hours out, but I said, I need to get home. I said, yeah, 'cause when I get home tired. It takes 2 hours to get home. So I said, let me leave now, and maybe I might have extra hours to do, get home by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and try to set up for the next day. And I had some things that I needed to get done also. So, yeah, I'm waiting for, yeah, I'm waiting for a phone call actually, or some type of notification from. Um, Getting prepared, my preparedness for the this season's, um, the sickness thing. Yeah, I talked about this before. I was to get, well, okay, on New York, and I would imagine it's all of the state of New York, not just New York City. You can't get certain medication, prophylactics. Certain of the prophylactics, um, they do not want any of the major pharmacists to sell it. Now these are legal products, legal. This treatment, this preventive, they don't want you to use it. And I shared earlier in an earlier video. I contacted my primary care physician at the VA hospital to inquire if I get sick with that thing. What is the protocol? What do I do? Do I go there or somewhere else? And what will you be able to give me? They said we don't. There's no treatment for it. But if you have to be hospitalized because of the sickness, we'll give you this thing. But that thing causes organ failure. And you know what else I learned? See, they don't want to give any treatment if you start to get symptoms. You have to nip it in the bud, people. So when you get certain symptoms, you better nip it in the bud. Do something. Because see, they don't see they it's about producing many casualties. Because this is a WAR. This is a WAR happening. So you don't need bullets anymore. You just need social media and to control people. So they are preventing you for treating yourself. My doctor said there is no treatment for it, and if you have to be hospitalized, this is all what we can give you. And did you hear that over 90% of the people in New York who had to get incubated, that over 90% of them have died? They talk about therapeutics. Is that therapeutic that 90% of people who get incubated die from the procedure? Do not get incubated. Do not get incubated. Don't. And so I'm trying to find, so when my doctor said that there is no treatment for it, and the alleged prophylaxis that I inquired about, they said none of the hospitals in New York offer it. None of it. And the pharmacists are instructed to say no, to not fill those prescriptions for those particular therapeutics. Even though it is a legal product that's been on the market for 60 years, that's 60 years on the market. Why is that? Why would you say, hey, you can't use that to treat for early symptoms? They don't have anything else to give you. Give it to them. It's not gonna, it's not gonna hurt them. And it's again, your body is your choice of what type of medical treatment. It's not just the doctor. You have a choice. You say, look, this is what therapeutics I want to treat X, Y, and Z. They say no. So they even had, this is how bad it's getting. They're having the pharmacies, there's many pharmacies in New York City. And it seems as though they've been instructed to not fill certain prescriptions. Isn't that, what do you call it, aiding and abetting a crime? To say you cannot get help. We will not give you anything to prevent it from spreading. When it's easier to control, but they want you sick. They want you to like. It's important that don't wait 2 weeks when you first get symptoms to try to nip it in the bud, because it gets worse. And if you have ailments already, it's just asking for disaster. And they want to force you to go in the hospital to get incubated. And when they do that, and when you die from being incubated, they'll say that you died from that particular pathogen, and they collect money off of you. It is a money-making business. It is designed for making money off of this crisis. It's not about health care. Yeah, watch this alternative news. You find it for yourself. I already made mention which one I watch. I want you to have the freedom to choose what you want, where you want to get your information. Each one teach one also. Let me know of things that for alternative news. I want a blend of different news outlets that share various information. So this is what's happening in New York. They're limiting me access for medical treatment. And so when my primary care physician at the VA hospital told me they don't offer that as a treatment plan, and that is proven ineffective. Well, same as that incubation tube. 90%, you haven't figured that out, but see, it's by design. They want to kill these people. And so I know this is sounding negative, but I just really want to let you know what's going on here. We have to let people know what's going on. Again, this is through my perspective, based on the information that I'm getting, my experiences that I'm getting here. And so I contacted this number online, and I told you guys that well, it's to make an appointment with a one of their doctors, their medical doctors, and if I qualify, for certain treatments for prophylactic. Well, it was canceled. They said that the number of people requesting it is so much, they're overwhelmed, and so they have to send back my money. Okay, the power's going to go off soon with this tablet. It's on 10%. So yeah, so I'll try to hurry up real quick. So I applied again about a week ago, and it's I'm still waiting. So that's also why I want to stay home because I really want to get that phone call. So I'm hoping that I get a phone call this week. I may have to apply again. Um, as I said earlier, my I was getting a headache in my temples, and I don't know whether it was a hydration issue, whatever, or something. Um, I don't want to get caught off guard. So I hope they call because I want to get those prophylactics to use. But in the meanwhile, what I've been doing, drinking the things to boost my immune system, um, my cloves, my bilberry, um, my vitamin D3, my vitamin C, the lipid one that's really that gets inside your cell. Yeah, the lipid vitamin C is very more effective than the regular water soluble vitamin C. What else? Vitamin C, vitamin D. Um, yeah, and just trying to eat some good food. Yeah, and I want to stay warm also. So that's basically what's happening. And so I haven't heard from that organization of doctors. Um, I don't want to get sick, and I don't want to wait 2 weeks. Yeah, so people, make it. Those of you who want to get that information. See, I cannot say it over this stream because they're gonna um, disconnect it, my device. Um, but those of you who want to get the name of the place, you can contact them online, and apply. Yeah, it costs $90. Yes, it's not free. $90 to get to talk to a doctor, and if you need a prescription filled uh, after they're examining you or on a live stream or Zoom, whatever, they'll prescribe what you need. And so um, it's a long, long wait, potential wait. So act now if you live in those cities that they're preventing you access to certain pharmaceuticals, okay? So I thank you again. I've been on now for 105 minutes plus. I thank you for watching. I thank you for getting up and seeing the sunrise, the dawn of the day. Yes, I'll try to keep you guys posted on, things that are happening here in New York City and my health and wellness and all that. Yeah, stay safe. Prepare now for winter. Get things that would keep you warm. Try to stock up on certain foods, okay? Thank you again. Peace, love, and joy. Bye bye.